Good evening and welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing very, very well. Welcome to my house. I'm currently in the process of renovating, so ignore the lovely green carpets, crap 70s veneer. We're working on a K-truck. He's a great little truck, gets loads of attention, all sorts of stuff. But the wheels and the tyres on it are tiny. If you go around a corner too fast, you do end up sideways. Although it is fun, it's not exactly most confidence inspiring when it comes to crappy weather. Also with the K-truck, as you will know if you've already seen the intro for it, it does have switchable four-wheel drive, switchable diff locks, and switchable low range as well. So me being me, I obviously want to take it off-road, I obviously want to take it into Wales and do some of the TET and all sorts of stuff. So I need bigger tyres. I kind of want a bit more girth as well, as we all do. So I thought to myself, I'll get slightly wider wheels, and while I'm in the process, if I slightly up the size of them from 12 to a 13 or a 14, it means I can access a few more tyre options. On the motorway, sitting at the higher speeds or anything like that, it should be a little bit less revvy. The Speedo isn't hugely out as standard anyway, but I tend to use a GPS regardless, so it doesn't really matter that much. With the off-road element as well, and the fact that I'm going for bigger wheels, I thought it'd be stupid not to get a lift kit. So yeah, that's exactly what I've done. I've got a lift kit and some 14-inch JDM wheels for my truck. And in today's video, I'm going to fit them and hopefully they're not going to rub the arches. So first of all, let me show you these things. This is the lift kit. Like many trucks, even today to be fair, they've got shocks on the front and they've got shackles and leaf springs on the rear of the truck. I would say that's probably at least 25 inches long. This is a 2-inch lift kit, so these things basically bolt onto the stock struts. Undo this nut and you've got some form of camber adjustment as well. I have got some new suspension struts in the garage as well, which are slightly bigger and slightly beefier, so I'm hoping they will stop any extra body roll you get. Do you like my lovely pink salmon carpet? There's a bit of a blue hue coming off of it because, who's Hugh? Because I've got a marine fish tank up there. These are the stock wheels, so they're literally just steel wheels. They're 12-inch wheels, and then the brand of tyre is Innovv 145 R12. Very, very basic tyre and wheel combination. They have got tread, but I mean, that is like nothing. In comes my replacement wheel. So these are my Japanese imported SSR Mark IIs, and they are gorgeous things. Why is it so blue? Stop being so blue. They're not perfect. I got these off Facebook Marketplace for a substantial amount less than it would have cost me to import a brand new set, but they're gold centered. They've got the chrome lip. Two different sizes of these. I've got a 6J and a 6.5J, which is the width of them. Yeah, they're quite a bit bigger. They're basically all season tyres. I didn't go for proper knobblies yet because I wanted to make sure they would fit. And also these are going to be perfect in snow and the crap weather we get over winter, and then when I go off-road I can put some proper knobblies on. Yokohama Blue Earth 4S's, which is the 4-season tyre. They've got quite a decent sort of tread pattern on them, so I'm hoping with that amount of tread they should be decent off-road. 6Js for the front and 6.5Js for the rear. The only problem is I fitted the same size tyre, so now I'm trying to work out which ones are which. I have fitted 185 60 R14s. With any vehicle I've had in the past, they've all been European, so they've all had wheel bolts that go through into the hub. These ones, the wheel bolts are on the hub, and then you have just a wheel nut instead. So no locking mechanism, which is slightly irritating. If you look at the depth of that, and then you look at the depth of that, they are vastly, vastly different. What I actually found was the wheel bolts coming off the hub were not long enough for me to get that on and actually get it to bite. So I started doing some Googling and I found out you have to buy special SSR wheel bolts. That goes in there like that, which gives you that extra distance to be able to bolt onto the hub. So I had to buy some of these. They only come from Japan, so they are ludicrously expensive. 16 of these for about 90 quid or something mental for some wheel bolts, which was painful. These were actually quite expensive as well, but we're not going to go into how much I've paid for those. So this is very much what the truck looks like right now. That's my wheel gap
on both front and rear. You can also see here, that's how wide the stock wheel is, and that's how wide the aftermarket wheel is. I have actually already fitted the front to this side. It actually goes on quite nicely. There's a little bit of a poke, but not awful, so I think I'm going to have to 3D print some wheel arch extenders. And if I bring you in here, I'm going to have to do this with one hand and no power steering, but with the wheel full lock to the left, it clears, and then full lock to the right, it also clears at the front and rear. Obviously there's no weight in the truck at the moment as well, but, and then if I put you under there, you should hopefully see that it's not hitting the strut at all, which is perfect. If I hold that there like that, and I click my fingers, I'm going to do full YouTube mode, it will change to having the wheels on. They're on. They have clearance everywhere. I'm almost tempted to not worry with the lift kit yet. There's definitely a little bit of poke, but we'll deal with that later. But I think that looks so good. It's definitely jacked up the truck a little bit more as well, because it's obviously, they're obviously 14-inch wheels. The thing I am very interested in is look how much wider it looks from down here. Oh, they look the nuts, mate. I'm going to take it for a little drive just to see how it handles now without the lift kit, see if it rubs or anything. I'm not fussed about there being a lift kit on it yet. I think I like the look of how it is right now without the lift, so we'll see. Right, good evening everybody. This is just a little tag on at the end of this video. I'm well aware that I have literally just fitted 4 wheels in this video. So sorry for that. So I actually fitted the wheels about a month and a half ago, and I've been driving it pretty much daily to the gym. I actually drove it down to Cornwall for Christmas to my parents' house, which is no simple feat for a 547cc little truck. Come on, baby, go. That's 45. This is quite a loud, long piece of road, so I don't know whether it's going to be really loud on the microphone. I've had, like I said, I've had them on for about a month and a half, and I've had 0 issues with any scrubbing, rubbing. The wheels do not hit any of the suspension components. They don't hit the arches. I can hard lock left or right, and it's completely fine, which is brilliant. Just what I wanted. I still haven't fitted the lift kit, because, I mean, I will fit the lift kit eventually when I want to do green laning, like off-roading properly, just to give me a little bit more clearance. But as it currently stands, I really like the truck the way it looks. I just think it looks properly smart. But in terms of driving it, it's made it so much quieter. It's still a tiny little truck. The door panel is literally just there. Fitting the wheels has done a number of things. The reaction to road imperfections like potholes or anything like that is halved over like surface drain covers and things like that. Just stuff like that I just hit. It would react so much more, sort of give me a bit of a jolt, give me a little bit of a pull to one side. The amount of increased grip with these tyres is unbelievable. Like, I can go around a corner, just yank round to the left or to the right, and I don't spin out or anything. Whereas before, if I went round a corner just a bit too fast, I would understeer, and then suddenly it would snap and it would oversteer, and I'd be drifting a K-truck, which is a lot of fun. You might be able to see in the background that it's very, very foggy. We're -2. It's threatening to snow. It snowed heavily up north, so I'm just waiting for it, because then I definitely won't go out in this and skid around in a car park like an utter child. Any police watching, that's not what I was planning to do. It's all coincidental. The one thing I did think would be affected quite a lot, but has been affected a little bit, but not a huge amount, is the speed and its ability to drive up hills and things like that. There's quite a big hill that sort of is relatively close to my house, and when I bought the truck, it would go up it, but you'd have to sort of drop down to 3rd, but 3rd was a little bit screamy, 4th wasn't quite powerful enough to get up it. I've run a load of like carb cleaners and systems cleaners through the truck, and just before I put the wheels on, it would go up that in 4th gear quite easily, to be fair. Putting the wheels on, it still goes up that in 4th gear, which is brilliant. It's just not quite as sprightly as it was before. The one thing that doesn't seem to have been affected at all is the top speed. I mean, it's horrendously slow, but 55, 60 mile an hour is your tops. The only actual negative that that comes with putting these wheels on is that, as I suspected, they're a little bit wide. I definitely, again, police, if you're watching this, I definitely haven't been driving it around with pokey out tyres. Currently, touch wood, I've not had any unwanted attention, let's put it that way. Importing extended wheel arches for one of these, unless you go for the really awful looking universal ones off eBay for 20 quid, to buy Suzuki Carry ones from Japan that will actually fit this, they're about £200 for plastic wheel arch extenders. Because it's in Japan, it's about £150 to £200 postage, and then also you've got to pay import duty on top of that. So you're looking at about 500 quid for a set of 4 plastic wheel arch extenders. I decided the best way of doing it would be to 3D print some. I've got a 3D printer that I've been using for the last 6 months or so, and then thought, how am I going to get the contours of the body right? And I could have done it. I could have spent many hours mocking stuff up and then trying to measure and duplicate that in a 3D printing software and all sorts of stuff. This is all to save £500 on some plastic arches. My solution to the problem, spend £700 on a 3D scanner to go with my 3D printer, so I can then scan the wheel arches, import that information into the PC, then model wheel arches to then 3D print. Yep, it makes complete logical sense in my head. £700 on a 3D scanner, £600 odd on my 3D printer, all for the sake of not spending £500 on some plastic arches. Logic. As you're watching this right now, I've currently got the front arches on. I need to reprint them because they've snapped at the front. Because my 3D printer's not big enough, I had to dovetail joint them in the middle. That wasn't strong enough. I need to do a higher infill. You can do different levels of infill for stronger components, basically. But I have been running the front arches on the truck for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and they have been completely fine, haven't come off at all, which is fantastic. Ooh, we are flooded. Very flooded. That is quite loud. That's very flooded. Little Ford. That's not, it's a Suzuki. What I'm essentially alluding to is that I have 3D scanned, 3D modelled and 3D printed some wheel arches for this. And it's quite an interesting process, if I'm completely honest. It's something that not a lot of people would have come across or bothered to spend the money on, because it's quite a lot of money for the sake of it. If you're interested in watching a video on me 3D scanning then printing some arches for this truck and like a little bit of the process, let me know. I've got a part of a video filmed for it, but I don't know whether it's of interest. I am really going through the back lanes of I have no idea where. But yeah, overall, very happy with the wheels. I think they look really nice. I've had quite a few compliments on them. It is quite funny seeing them on like a Nissan S15 or something like that, and you just see these really nice wheels on this 50-60 grand's worth of modified car, and there's me sticking them on a K-truck because it's funny. Same kind of reasoning that I'm printing the arches is that tonneau covers for the bed of this are either really crap or don't exist. They look like tarpaulin, or they just don't exist. So I'm going to make my own, or try to make my own anyway. Let me know if you're interested in me making a tonneau cover for this as well. Do the usual subscribe-y stuff and clicking things and whatever. Thanks for watching me undo 16 wheel bolts. I don't know what, you didn't even watch it, did you? Thanks for watching me fit some wheels in a video that's actually been quite a long video. Sorry for wasting your evening. And I will see you in next week's video. Bye!